We are here with Coach Bray for the men's and women's cross country teams. Coach, team last outing took advantage of the ACC's championships and had some strong performances from both Cullen Davis and Hillary Boxheimer. So just talk about their individual performances and the team performances at ACC's.
Yeah, well, first off, I think the ACC conference, the Atlantic Coast Conference, is probably one of the best conferences in the country, if not the best conference in the country when it comes to cross country. So for Hillary and Cullen to perform the way they did was definitely a big step for us in our program here. I think Hillary was 29th, and I think Cullen was 36th or 32nd. I can't remember off the top of my head. But when you start getting close to that top 30 type range in that conference, those are some pretty good individual accolades that those two individuals were able to at least earn in that race. So team-wise, it wasn't as good as we wanted it to be, but I think it's a good stepping stone, a good learning experience for our program. We're a very young program, and we're more of probably a regional team than we are a conference-level team right now. And so getting that experience, being in those big races like that, is just going to help make us better down the road.
And you mentioned the regional aspect, which, as you said, the ACC is a very strong conference, one of the top ones in the country. And in some regards, the regional meet, which is coming up on Friday, the NCAA regions, may be a little bit easier with still some top teams in there, but it's not as top-heavy, not as loaded in general. So just talk about the field that you guys are going to be going up against on Friday.
Yeah, I would totally agree with you, Greg, that the regional meets for us is probably a little easier than what the conference meet is. A lot of the Power 5 conferences, probably a lot of schools could say that. It really just depends what region you're in. But for us being the Mid-Atlantic region, don't get me wrong, the Mid-Atlantic region is a good region with a lot of really good teams in there. The top end especially being pretty tough. This overall depth of the region is not as deep as what our conference meet is. So we definitely are looking to improve on our team placing wise going into the regional meet and talking with some of the athletes throughout this week. Think that we can actually improve upon our individual placing in that race as well as compared to the conference meet. So I think we've been ranked in the top 15 or in the regional rankings all year. We have slidden down a little bit from our performance at pre-NAS and then the ACC meet, but I think the other coaches out there, if you're not in those conferences, you don't really have an understanding of how tough those conferences are. But at the same time, this would be an opportunity for us to go out there and just run the race and not worry about what the rankings are and so on and so forth.
Now, last thing is, you guys actually have a little bit of an advantage going into the regional meet, which is being hosted by Penn State. You guys had a meet there at the beginning of the season back in September. A lot of teams can't say that they've actually raced at Penn State this past year. So just talk about that advantage and how you guys can use that going into the meet on Friday.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's a big advantage for us, getting a chance to get on the Penn State course earlier this year, and also for some of our, veterans on the team who really are just juniors. They had a chance to race on the regional course back in 2012. Penn State hosted the region up there. So Penn State does a really good job of hosting the regional meet. It's actually, personally, my favorite cross-country course. When I was running, I really enjoyed racing on it. And looking forward to having our team go back up there and see if we can improve upon our times and placing as we did 2 years ago for those who ran that race, and then for the youngsters to see if they can improve upon their performances from, that was like 6 weeks ago now, we were up there at State College.
We are here with Cullen Davis, a senior on the men's cross-country team. Cullen, you're fresh off about a week and a half ago. Your performance at the ACC championships individually, you were just outside the top 30, much improved performance from last year. So just talk about hitting your strides right now at the right part of the season.
I think our team, we're all performing pretty well at this point. It's tough going through a cross-country season, all the races and the race distance being 8K, it can be, legs start to get tired at this time of season, but I think we're all looking pretty good. We're all pretty fresh-legged going into this race. It's a longer distance, it's 10K, so yeah, I'd say we're all pretty excited.
So now just talk briefly about the NCAA regionals that you guys are competing in on Friday. It's the Mid-Atlantic region, and competition is going to be just as tough as the ACC, but you guys do have an advantage. You competed there where it's being hosted by Penn State back in September. So just talk about your familiarity with the course and how you can play that to your advantage.
Yeah, well, our team, it seems to be a trend every year. We go to Penn State in the beginning of the year, or in the beginning of the season, and we run their course. It's a golf course. It's not really tough. It's really good footing, and it's kind of hilly, but it's nothing we're not used to considering we're training in Pittsburgh all the time. And I'd say, yeah, going into this race, we definitely have an advantage because we face some really tough competition in the ACC meet. We're all looking. I think we can all pretty much better our places. You know, going ACC to regional meet. I'd say the regional meet is a little less competitive, surprisingly, but yeah, I'd say we're all pretty well prepared, especially for the 10K distance.
We are here with Hillary Boxheimer, a junior on the cross-country team. Hillary, you guys are coming off an ACC performance where you finished in the top 30, just missed out on all ACC. This weekend you compete in the NCAA regionals. Just talk about what you're looking forward to this weekend.
This weekend, well, as an individual, I'm hoping to capture the all-region conference athlete, and then I'm hoping to hit like a PR around 21, 30, somewhere around there. And then for the team, we're really hoping that we'll get like a top 10 performance, probably roughly around like that 8, 9 range.
And talk about your familiarity with the course. You guys already raced at Penn State earlier this year, back in September, and had a strong showing there. So just talk about your familiarity with the course and how that will hopefully translate to a successful run this weekend.
Well, the first like maybe 2.5 miles is roughly like downhill, and then that last like mile and a half, that's probably like the worst part because it's all up, most of it's uphill, and that's mentally the toughest part of the race because you know that you're almost done, and that's where me personally and the team is going to have to really push hard if we want to make a good regional like performance.
Sure. Great. Thank you, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you.